to BigCountryPreps.com. I'm Evan Wren, and this is the Countdown to Two-A-Days series, our daily look at an area football team and the key questions we're going to be asking about that team in our Wednesday, August 17th preseason preview here at Big Country Preps. I'm here via Zoom with my partner, Dan Youngblood, and tonight, Dan, we are going to talk about the Hamlin Pied Pipers.
Yeah, and this is a Hamlin team that obviously struggled last year, going 0-10. Really kind of a major rebuilding year with first-year coach Chris Evans. The good news is they do bring back quite a bit of talent from that team. They've got 14 Lettermen back of the 20 that played for them last year. The bad news is those guys are coming back from an 0-10 season, so they've got a long way to go. I would expect this Hamlin team, with what they have coming back, to be improved. The question in my mind, probably the biggest question this year for this Hamlin team is just how much improved will they be? I mean, will they improve enough to they can get back into that playoff picture this year?
Absolutely. And I think you have to judge them fairly and with a fair set of criteria. How do you measure improvement? We're talking about a team that was 0-10 and, really wasn't competitive in some of their ball games at all. So they could show a significant amount of improvement without it translating into a lot of wins, especially in this district. And I just think that we have to judge them fairly. They were in a very difficult position coming off of last year.
And the good news for Hamlin, in addition to what they bring back this year, is they do have a coach in Chris Evans who has experienced success at Wheeler. He knows what a good football team looks like, and he seems to think that this team will be substantially improved. Obviously, you've got a tough district with Roscoe, with Albany, with Cross Plains, with Miles. They're going to have to beat at least one of those to make the playoffs, but it'll be interesting to see this group. Obviously, they've got a decent senior class, a good freshman class. They're not going to have a whole lot of depth. That'll be a big question mark for them. But I think the big thing is just maybe to get a win in that non-district, maybe get some confidence and see where it can take you.
And one area where they should improve considerably is on the defensive side of the football, Dan. They've got 9 starters back. One question that I would have, one key question that we'll take a look at in our preview is overall the district that they are in. The good news is Hamlin's improving. But the bad news is Miles should be better than they were a year ago, and Cross Plains should be better than they were a year ago. At least they are expecting to be. So there's going to be a big challenge there to try and snag that number 4 playoff spot. The 3 and 4 seeds in that district are going to be up for grabs. Now, can Hamlin get their foot in the door? That's possible. We'll see. But they're going to have a challenge in front of them. Roscoe is in there. Of course, Albany is in there. But the battle for those 3 and 4 seeds are going to be Miles. It's going to be Cross Plains. It's going to be Hamlin. We shall see how that pans out. Will they improve enough to get their foot in the door? That's going to be the big question.
Yeah, and that's kind of the interesting thing when you look at that schedule. And we'll just go down the list. Obviously, they start at home against Stanford, go to Water Valley, back at home for Crosbyton at Monday, and then close out the non-district portion of their schedule with a home game against Quanah. And that takes them into the district where their 3 biggest games are right off the bat. They go to Abilene TLCA, which that's a program moving up from 6-man. You would expect Hamlin to be able to maybe start off district with a win there. And then they host Miles, go to Cross Plains, host Albany, and then go to Roscoe. So if they're going to make the playoffs, you're going to find out pretty quick in that district schedule. They play those 3 huge games against TLCA, Miles, Cross Plains right off the bat. And to me, that's their season. That 3-game block,
Absolutely.
That's their season.
There's no question about it. And now, assuming that they take care of business and beat TLCA in that district opener, they could literally almost lock up a playoff spot with a win just one win over the next 2 weeks, against Miles or Cross Plains. If they split those 2, they're in. More than likely, they're in. It just depends how it plans or how it pans out. But a win in those next 2 games, the Pipers are in.
And they're right in that mix, like you said. So it'll be interesting to see if they can maybe elevate to that point to where maybe they can get 2 wins and get back into the playoffs. But I mentioned their non-district schedule and trying to get some confidence early. I really like the way that they scheduled. I thought they scheduled a good schedule, maybe to get some confidence early, maybe get a win or 2, playing at Water Valley at school that's moving up, Crosbyton, which has struggled, Monday, which has struggled. Those are 3 games in their first 4 where you're going to have a chance there to be very competitive and maybe build some momentum, because I think that's what you need when you've got a young team that just came off a really struggle, a tough season. Is an opportunity there to get some confidence, get some things rolling, realize, hey, we can play this game, and then go into district with some momentum. So I think that's going to be really important for them.
Yeah, I looking at that non-district schedule, I do like the way they've laid it out there. I think there's opportunities there to get some wins, get into the win column. In that losing streak that they've got going, they were 0-10 last year, and get back on the winning track. They're coming in with an 11-game losing streak, dating back 2 seasons. So that non-district portion affords them the opportunity to get that monkey off their back and then focus on snagging a playoff spot. And in my opinion, they've got a shot at it.
Yeah, I agree. And I think you kind of touched on it. When you have that type of losing streak, that thing just kind of builds, and it does just kind of sit on your back and kind of becomes maybe an anchor or a weight there. If they can shed that early, maybe get a win or two, maybe 3 in non-district, all of a sudden they're feeling completely different going into district. So it's going to be fun to see. This Hamlin team has an opportunity, I think, to make some significant improvement. The question will be, will it be enough to get in the playoffs? And that'll be the one that they'll answer, and that we'll look at pretty heavily when we put out our preview here in a couple of weeks.
All right, and that'll just about wrap it up for tonight's countdown to 2-a-days series, the Hamlin Pied Pipers. And before we take off here, we want to remind you that we've got 3 separate subscription packages here at bigcountrypreps.com. We've got a monthly for $5 a month. We've got a semi-annual 6-month subscription where you knock the price down to $4 a month. And then we've got an annual 12-month subscription where we knock that price down to $3 a month. That's $36 for a full year of Big Country high school athletic coverage, and no media source in the area is going to give you a price like that. Nobody.
And before we leave, we'll also remind you one more time to keep an eye out for that Big Country Preps preseason football preview, which will be released on the site on Wednesday, August 17th. In the meantime, thank you for listening to this episode of our Countdown to 2-a-days series. And make sure you join us again tomorrow when we'll be looking at the Cross Plains Buffaloes here at bigcountrypreps.com.